CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
All right, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us here on this Monday morning at 6 a.m. Let's get things started. I'm Chris Groh, in for Eric Connor.
And I'm Netta Irampour. Yeah, glad you're with us here. I'm filling in for Evan this morning and want to get you caught up on the forecast. You'll notice some fog. If you're in Ramona, Fallbrook, there's that little dot. That's the moon. Pretty cool to see. We have that full pink moon, as it's called, on Saturday night, and now you still see it kind of bright out there. Of course, it is the marine layer is blocking a lot of our view. We're going to get a lot of that this week, so hopefully you don't mind the clouds. A repeat of Sunday for today because of the marine layer, keeping things cool, but we are going to continue to see temperatures drop all the way through Friday, 10 to 20 degrees cooler than normal by the end of the week. A chance of rain coming our way on Thursday and Friday. I'll have those full details in your forecast. And right now, we do want to bring you this breaking news that we are following out of El Cajon. We are getting word that a shooting investigation is underway. You see all of that police tape that is strewn across. Right now, El Cajon police say they are searching for two people who they believe shot and killed a man and took off.
It happened just before 10 last night in the parking lot of Wells Park in the 1100 block of East Madison Avenue. The victim is in his 40s. We do not have a clear description of the people that, of course, the police are looking for. If you have any information, call El Cajon Police.
Today, the city of San Diego will discuss a proposal that could benefit renters. A local lawmaker says software used to set those prices is unfairly driving up the cost of our rent.
And city council members could ban the software from being used by apartments owned by corporations in the city of San Diego. CBS 8's Regina Rita, live downtown, has more details on this, including from one council member who's been pushing this forward. Regina?
That's right. Good morning, Chris and Danetta. And this is coming, or at least this proposal is coming from Council Member Sean Elo Rivera in response to these artificial intelligence algorithms that he is arguing contribute to the higher rental cost in San Diego. So he says these companies are able to coordinate with one another through the software to keep prices artificially high and sometimes even receive coaching from software telling companies not to negotiate, which is why council is set to consider a proposal that would ban the use of rent price fixing software by corporate-owned apartment complexes in the city. Now, the proposed ban comes in the middle of a lawsuit filed by the U.S. Department of Justice against RealPage. This is a revenue management software company used by landlords to price rental housing units. Councilmember Elo Rivera says that addressing the use of price-fixing software is one of the important things to do. So take a listen.
True that supply and demand is the primary driver, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't address things like this that are jacking up rents 2 to 7%.
Now, if passed, the ordinance would be the first kind of its in its region. That is something that will be talked about today during the city council meeting. We'll learn more as Councilmember Sean Elo Rivera introduces more on this potential proposal. So for now, I'll send it back to you, Chris and Netta.
All right, thank you, Regina. Later today, San Diego's Environmental Services Department will ask the city to begin the process for setting a monthly cost recovery fee for trash and recycling collection. Today, the council will not approve or deny any fee, but instead it will consider setting hearing dates to charge more than 200,000 households a refuse fee. Last week, the city released its new proposed rates with monthly fees ranging between $36 and $47 a month, depending on bin size. That's down from a proposed $53 monthly fee. City trash services for single-family homes are currently paid through the city's general fund. If approved, the fees could take effect in July. Also today, San Diego Assemblyman Carl DeMaio is unveiling a new state bill regarding battery storage facilities. Some county leaders and residents are concerned about the fire hazards posed by these facilities. This after a fire happened last year at an SCG&E battery storage facility in Escondido that led to evacuations of nearby areas. In La Mesa, dozens of residents are fighting against a proposed battery storage facility on an empty lot on El Paso Street. Supporters of these facilities say they help provide critical renewable energy resources. Critics are concerned over the health impact of toxic plumes from a battery fire.
Starting this morning, some DMV offices across San Diego will be opening early, specifically for Real ID appointments. If you need to get yours, starting May 7th, the federal government will begin enforcing the Real ID Act, which means you'll need a Real ID or another approved federal document to board any domestic flights and enter secure federal buildings like federal courthouses or military bases. To keep up with the uptick in demand for those Real ID appointments, DMV offices in San Marcos, Poway, Claremont, and El Cajon will open early for Real ID appointments, now opening at 7 a.m., 7 to 8 on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. This morning, there are new concerns about the economy after President Donald Trump said reports that Chinese electronics would be exempt from tariffs were not true.
Now he's promising even more tariffs. CBS's Derek Waller has more.
Wall Street's tariff-fueled roller coaster ride may not be over yet. On Friday, U.S. Customs released a bulletin stating Chinese electronics would be excluded from reciprocal tariffs. But then Sunday, Trump posted online there was no tariff exception announced on Friday. Electronics, he said, are just moving to a different tariff bucket.
So it's not that they won't be subject to tariffs geared at reshoring, they'll just be under a different regime.
It comes just days after Trump announced a 90-day pause on most of those reciprocal tariffs. Still on board Air Force One Sunday, Trump told reporters to expect new tariff announcements soon. Today, President Trump is also planning to meet with El Salvador's president at the White House hours after the country released video showing 10 alleged gang members being handed over by the U.S. military to police in that country. The meeting comes amid an ongoing court battle over a Maryland father the administration admitted was sent to a notorious prison in the Central American country by mistake, the Supreme Court ordering the administration to facilitate his return. The president also reacting to Russia's attack on the Ukrainian city of Sumy, calling the attack that killed dozens a mistake.
They made a mistake. Look, you're going to ask them. This is Biden's war.
But on 60 Minutes Sunday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky invited Trump to see the carnage for himself.
Hospitals, churches, children destroyed.
The White House has not yet responded. I'm Derek Waller, CBS News.
A CBS News poll out yesterday shows 75% of Americans believe tariffs will lead to higher prices in the near future, with 48% saying they believe prices will also increase long term. Construction on a pedestrian walkway improvement project at the Otay Mesa Land Port of Entry is set to get underway today. The project will replace the existing flooring with concrete and granite. The project will consist of 2 phases, with phase 1 starting at 9 a.m. today. In just a couple of hours, the right side of the pedestrian queuing areas will be fenced off. The project is expected to be completed by August. Time now is 6:08 here on this Monday morning, and San Diego really was showing off for much of the weekend, Netta.
Yeah.
A little bit of a foggier start today, though.
Yeah, the deal is, so the clouds were hanging out at the coast yesterday. We kept waiting for them to move along, go to the beach and enjoy the sun. But today you're going to notice even more cloud coverage. So it is pretty far east. Ramona, it's foggy for you there. Fallbrook starting to see some improvement, at least where that weather station is. But watch out, some of these valleys, the clouds seem to be sitting pretty low, and they've moved all the way east beyond our mountains. So not just sticking to the coast as of right now. So pretty widespread cloudy conditions as you start off this day. Might see a little drizzle here and there, that light mist that comes with that, but not a huge issue this morning. What we're waiting for, though, is to see when the sun might come out for the coastline. It could be very stubborn and linger all day. 55 in Del Mar, 55 Mira Mesa, 54 Escondido, 50 Ramona. When it's widespread like this, it's a sign of the onshore flow. And temperatures right now in our waters, upper 50. So it's pretty cold in the water. If you step in, you'll get that little shock, take some getting used to. And with the winds coming off of the water, it does keep things cooler across our sky. So that's what we'll continue to see throughout the week. Temperatures are going to start that cool down now. 64 in Carlsbad, 71 in Escondido today, 71 Poway, 73 in Ramona. And it's interesting right now, the winds are coming in from all different directions, north, south, west. You see it all. Some east winds coming through Booker Hill. But overall, what we're going to start to notice is there's this troughing that'll happen. So from the north, that's going to start to bring in more of that cooler air, cloudier conditions for this week. So it's pretty different than what we just saw last week when we had high pressure taking over. Instead, this is a low right here. So what you'll see is Wednesday, more clouds. Thursday, there's a speckle of green coming through. That's when we could see some shower activity even into Friday. It looks like Saturday should remain dry, maybe a little mist, but Thursday and Friday are the days where that the chances for rain does increase. By Saturday, Sunday, things are going to be nice. We'll get some weak ridging coming through, and it doesn't look like your weekend will be disturbed at all by any chance of rain. Let's show you what's going on traffic-wise. I did see a couple crashes. Oh, it looks like those have cleared. There seems to be just one stalled car. That's right there at the 15 and the 56 where that comes together. And then some fog up to the north, but that's kind of it. So it does seem to be okay out on our roads, not seeing any major slowdowns right now. Although at the border, that's a whole nother scene. San Ysidro Port of Entry, look at that, 135 minutes to get through the Port of Entry. Otay Mesa takes almost just as long, 100 minutes there. Chris?
All right, well, still ahead, what we're now learning about a deadly helicopter crash in New York. And the countdown is on. CBS's co-host Gail King is getting ready for a life-changing trip to the edge of space. We'll hear from her next.